Hi. Okay. So if I were to ask you, what is the utmost important resource for you to have in order to innovate a project? What will be your answer? Hi, my name is Camp.
And I'm Gan.
And together we'll be taking you through our learning journey of our M.A.F.I.A capstone project.
So let's start with a little bit backgrounds of our project. Our project named M.A.F.I.A, or Micro Agricultural Farming Intelligence and Automation, which is the project that initiated by Ban Pu Company in order to seize and market opportunity in the ongoing trends of indoor horticulture and agriculture. So news of the plants selling for 10 to 100,000 of Thai baht flood throughout our social medias nowadays, and it seems like everyone is jumping into this trend. But now, knowing where to start and focus, we need to do a market research.
So our market research were divided into two parts. First, quantitative, and second, the qualitative. So in our quantitative, being in a two-person team, we believe that the best way and most efficient way is to refer to online sources. So we did some online market research, and we found out something very interesting. So as you can see, comparing to a similar market, Thailand indoor plant market is growing at a rate of 8.2% cumulatively each year, while the rest of the world is growing at only around 4%. So we saw this as a very important opportunity that we can seize of.
And for our qualitative method, we conduct some several interviews with the users across background and age group. And out of that, we found an interest inside to create the business ideas out of it.
So with that, we start going through what were the possible applications and what solutions can we provide those users with. So we did a lot of research, as we have mentioned, and with an outside-in approach, we were very optimistic, right, with what are the things that we could do. So we end up with our project of creating an online application that utilizes AI and ML to be able to create a personal assistant in gardening for users, as well as also be community-driven and allowing them to share their plants with each other. We're also going to create a data collector using IoT sensors, which will be capturing essential data of plants, including temperature, light intensity, moisture, and all the rest that you've seen on the screen.
But there's the one problem. Remember what we're asking you guys at the beginning of this presentation? To bring all this innovative idea to life, what we need is the data, especially the one that can tell us how to take care of this plant. But in reality, there were little to no resources on this topic. Or if they were safely kept behind the company's wall, which means that it's not available for the public use like our project or many other great projects out there. And this is the real beginning of our M.A.F.I.A.
So with all of those being said, we believe that the most important and first thing that we should tackle is to create an open source database for plants. And that is where our project has been rescoped to. And with this, we believe that we'll be, with the data provided by the database, we believe that there will be a lot of further use in the future.
And to tackle these problems, we created tools that can capturing an essential information that contributes on the plant's growth, which consists of the soil moisture, air humidity, temperature, and sunlight intensity. And after that, we divided our tasks into two main parts, which is the real-time database and tools development. But as a BASI student, we are specializing in the innovation and entrepreneurship. So we have to admit that our technical skills were far less compared to those who were specialized in these fields like engineering. So to building on this project so far, we have to do a lot of self-learning.
So I was in charge of the tools development. So there are two parts in my learning journey. There's one in the prior knowledge and one through my own self-learning. So for prior knowledge, I was able to use the knowledge from my enrolled IoT courses at BASI, as well as also have some refreshments for the workshop that I had last semester. So throughout this prior knowledge process, I was able to learn a lot of information and knowledge on the IoT things. So such as basic IoT coding, I learned what the materials, what is the best thing to use, what's the most suitable for my project. what are some basic electrical engineering that I need to be able to use to create and come up with this project. I did learn some IoT architecture as well as also having hands-on experience towards the project. So I did some, well, hands-on things. And moving on, well, with the prior knowledge I had, I know that I need to do a lot more of self-learning. So the first step I did is I went on and referred to online courses. So I did watch a lot of YouTube tutorials, videos, as well as also read a lot of documentations regarding the sensors or the product that I'm using, so I wouldn't be able to know that it is the most suitable thing for my project or not. And next, I also did a lot of consultation with the Basai Fab Lab technician, Mr. Yasiru here. So he did, told us and did help us a lot throughout our project as well. And next, we move on to the prototyping. So with all these three processes, we did a lot of iterations and to improve each and every single part of our project. And we'll be able to create the project that we have today. And to mention, some of the program I use is Arduino IDE for IoT coding and also Tinkercad for some 3D software development for my prototype.
And for the database development, we think that the starting point are pretty similar to the building a hardware one. Our advantages is that we have like the prior knowledge from the course we enroll on the second years, like human cognitive course that Professor John taught us about like the computer languages like CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, so we can build on the website. And also like the database workshop in this year that he also taught us on to build the database. And to make this project comes true, right, we have to add some refreshment on it, like the knowledge about the data logistic, data architecture, MQTT broker to transferring like the data from our sensor and store in our server, and to build like the interface for our website that user can scroll down and see the real-time database on it. And like, yeah, we do a lot of self-learning, as he said before, like on the hands-on experience, practicing coding, and learning from the internet resources like YouTube clips, online platform learning like Coursera, and also from the Stack Overflow website. And we also do consult with the friends from engineering school, which he is a full stack developer, so he have like the plenty of experience in this field, and we think that he can help us to achieve the goal.
Okay, so there were several trials and errors, and well, as you can see, changing of topics, but at the end we made it out alive. So one important lesson that we learned throughout this whole capstone thing is that we saw innovation as a learning process. So with each and every iteration that we did, we were trying to improve a specific thing that we think that should be improved. So as you can see in our first prototype, we were able to prove that we were able to gain the knowledge in like using of some IoT sensors, and also, well, we're able to prove our thinking and thoughts are that it can be achieved, but it's not very usable. So moving on to our second prototype, which is more sound, more usable, more practical, but at the end, it does not achieve the mobility that we had hoped for. So at the end, we end up with our third prototype. So in our third prototype, we believe that we'll be able to achieve all the requirements that we have and prove to be our first MVP as well. So as you can see, we've listed some of the specifications as well as the sensors that we use, and we hope that we'll be able to deploy it and use it for future use as well.
And here's the result from the tool that we'll be able to gather the data for over 3 weeks of the Thai chili. Starting with the soil moisture that we must maintain like the average around 80 to 90% during the watering time. But as you can see by the graph that the data reflect that the soil moisture is affected by the drainage. And for our light intensity, the peak time is around 2 p.m., which is correlates with the overall humidity. And lastly is the temperature that it is fine for Thai chili to keep it in between 47 to 30 degrees Celsius. And like for the further development, it can be done by deploying this sensor to the professional users like gardeners or farmers. And apart from like apart from learning the technical skill that we have, like being abroad last semester, we have to live in a different country. I was in Sweden, he was in Singapore and our mentor are still in Thailand. So we must work very professionally with the agreed timeline, and we are prioritizing the tasks to make sure that everything is still on the project schedule. And also learn to connect with the different people that help consult and propelling our project into the right direction. We have to thank you for Dr. Jeffrey, Yasiru, and Dr. Kanokwan, and also Banpu team as well to like being here with us at the beginning and still until now. Like, yeah, we very thank you for and appreciate for all the help. And lastly is to like the learning the new skill we never tried before, like creating the 3D CAD design for the 3D casing, setting up our database by ourselves and building our own sensor, IoT, and the technical stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, for our conclusion, we believe that starting an initiative in something is, well, very difficult, right? But we believe that our equipment and initiation towards an open source database will be helping not only the people in the Thai indoor plant market, but also as well as all the farmers in Thailand. Well, since around 10% of the Thai household is in the agricultural space, we believe that they'll be able to utilize our information and our open source database for their everyday use as well. And lastly, we would like to thank all of you that went through our learning together with us. So hope you enjoy our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. What you've done seems fantastic. Have you got any future goals of including any other types of sensor involved in your IoT device?
Well, yes. Sorry, yes. Well, the things that we're able to capture now are like the essential ones, right? But there are more factors that we need, such as like the nutrients within the soil, or even in the pH levels of each soil to know that what is the most suitable one for each type of plant even. So that's the plan, but there are high costs to these sensors, so that is why we stick with these as our MVP.
And also we believe that we can integrate other technologies to like helping our project become greater, like if we planning to deploy to the bigger size, it can be good to integrate with the mechatronic and AI stuff that can help our sensors to be a greater sensors. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Okay. So I think you've done a great work, and this is supposed to be a sort of like data infrastructure kind of thing. So in the future, as you amass the data, it would be available for analytics. But have you tried to do any kind of analysis on the data, just on the preliminary proof of concept data set? What sort of picture it tells you about plant growth or suitability of environment, contrasting Sweden, Singapore? Have you done any analytics to tease that information out?
Yes, we did some analysis on the 3 weeks that we have mentioned on the chili plant. Well, we chose Chile because we had like a similar product, but they were not, well, there were not enough data for like a local plant, so we chose to initiate with first the local plant. But as you have mentioned, right, we have a lot of initiatives in our mind, but well, we were not able to get it out through with a limiting timeline, right? So one of that is to, well, I'm sorry, I'll just get back to your question first. Okay, so your question is, what are the analysis that we did, right? So, well, for the 3 weeks, we saw that there are a lot of light intensity within a certain part of time. So in that, we were able to get a conclusion that a plant should be in this intensity for an X amount of time. But we're like newbies in the gardening field, right? So what is most suitable and and should be improved on is that we will be using this and put it on like the professional agriculturists, so like professional farmers or professional horticulturists, for them to be able to like do their own normal everyday routine, and we'll be collecting data from that, and we believe that that data will be more reliable for like the use and development of further applications. So thank you very much.